Hey guys, Peter Chen here, recording another 500 Zoom video. I'm uploading these videos every week, so if you enjoy it, subscribe, and there will be another one next week. On table 2, we are opening Jack 9 suited from hijack. On table 1, going to be 3-betting Ace Queen offsuit from the button against cutoff. Folding the Jack 9 to the 3-bet. So on the queen high board, I think I got some small betting, some medium betting. Ace queen, maybe a bit better hand to bet bigger. But probably both options are fine. On table 2, I 3-bet cutoff versus hijack with ace queen suited. And I'm going to start with a small bet with the ace queen. On table 1, there's a limp raise. Going to be 3-betting this. The ace queen seems fairly close. I think I'm going to fold. Not sure if I have to call that one or not. On table 1, I'm going to be 3-betting the small blind against under the gun with king jack suited. On table 1, I'm going to be calling blind versus blind with ace 3 offsuit. This hand could be a 3-bet sometimes too. And against a small bet on the flop, going to always call this. My hand is probably not strong enough to raise. And now I'm going to start betting. On table 2, I open small blind with ace 3 off. C-betting for small here. So with this ace 3, can't be betting really big. I think if I go for a pot size bet, I'm going to make a lot of 8x, 6x fold, but if I bet small, I can get called by those hands. On table 2, I'm going to check the turn with ace high. Oh, we got called by pocket fives there, so around the same hand strength as an 8 or a 6, just the bluff catcher. With the ace-3, I think this hand makes sense to bluff. The queen is pretty good for our range. I have a lot of hands with a queen in it. On table 1, I'm going to defend 4-2 suited, blind versus blind. This is a pretty good flop for me in position. I'm going to face a check a lot of the time. And basically, I think I can do anything here. Checking and betting are both fine. Might get some big betting. Not sure if I ever bet this hand big, but I don't think it would be too bad. On table 2, opening cutoff with Queen Jack offsuit. On table 1, opening cutoff with Queen 10 suited. I'm not sure if I ever get to bet this flop. Just go for the safe option and check. And I'll be calling once. And folding to this turn bet now. On table 2, I'm going to flat button versus cutoff with 8-7 suited. And on table 1, call big blind versus small blind with pocket fives. So on table 2, I think this is an okay hand to be betting, but mostly I want to be checking. And on table 1, I want to be doing a lot of checking, betting big when I do bet. Calling with the 8-7. Maybe I could raise as well. If I had 9-10 or 9-8, those would be hands I'm pure checking back on the flop. Now check my 7 for showdown value. On table 1, opening hijack with king queen suited. On table 1, opening under the gun with ace-7 suited. And table 2, button limps. I'm going to be checking back. After flop check check, I have 5 high. Going to start bluffing this one. On table 1, I think I can do some checking on an ace high board. Probably checking this hand around half the time. And now I'll try to get 2 streets of value. A very good river for me. So, going to go big. The pocket sevens could 3-bet sometimes, but mostly calling. The ace queen suited, going to be 3-betting this every time. So with the sevens, we have bottom set. Going to check raise this. On table 2, this is a flop where we're going to be doing quite a bit of checking, I think. And on table 1, after check check, blank turn, I think it makes sense to go big. I'll have hands that want to go small too, but with my strongest hands, overbet makes sense. And calling the ace queen on table 2. And not improving on the turn, going to fold. On table 1, opening cutoff with ace 7 suited. On table 1, opening pocket 3s from hijack, and I'll be squeezing these 9s. I'm not going to be folding a pair. I think with the ace coming in, that turns a lot of my high card hands into a pair, so makes sense to bluff my smallest pairs. Unfortunately, running into a river 2 pair. The queen 6 is a bit of a light defend. On table 2, going to 3-bet 8-7 suited, blind versus blind. On table 2, opening small blind with queen 9 suited. Table 1 opening button with Queen 10 offsuit. I'm going to do quite a bit of checking on this board. The lower my cards are, the more I want to bet. So I want to bet this some of the time at least. Most hands I'm going to want to bet at least some of the time. Maybe there are some ace highs that I always check. Folding to the raise. On table 2, opening button with Queen 9 offsuit. I can check this, I can bet it. Good turn for me. On table 1, I defended blind versus blind with King 6 suited. I think this hand is pretty close. Maybe I pure call it on the flop. With my queen, I'm going to start betting. And now with the King 6, going to have to start bluffing. Could either bluff just the river or the turn and the river. I think both are reasonable. And with the queen, I think I can go for another street of value, get called by some worse hands sometimes. Calling the 3-bet with 6s, never doing anything else. On table 2, opening hijack with ace 4 suited. So with the bottom set, I'm going to raise. On table 1, opening small blind with pocket jacks. On table 2, opening small blind with Queen 10 offsuit. Table 1, opening button with ace 10 offsuit. I could do some checking on this board on table 2, but with my hand, my hand's pretty good. I want to be betting a lot more often. And on table 1, I'm going to start with a c-bet with my very strong draw. So we get a very blank turn. I have the ace of spades. This is a hand that makes sense to go big. You bet 1.5x pot and get the snap fold. On table 2, button limps. I'm going to raise King Queen offsuit in the big blind. On table 1, defending blind versus blind with 7-4 suited. So a very good flop for me with the King Queen. I'm going to go for a check raise. And the 7-4, I could raise this, I could call it. I think I'm going to put in a raise. After the check with the queen, I'm not supposed to be betting big very often here. Maybe I can go bigger against this opponent, but I think what I'm going to do is just bet normal size on the turn and then bet big on the river. So we get called by pocket tens. Pocket tens with the spade. I think it's a reasonable call. On table 1, we checked back the big blind against the small blind limp with queen 4. We get a very good flop. So I'm going to start betting. A very good turn for me too. On table 2, opening the button with ace-10 offsuit, and on table 1, opening cutoff with kings. I'm going to have some betting on this king-high board. With my hand, I'm going to check raise. On table 2, opening cutoff with 10-7 suited, folding to the 3-bet. As I said, with pocket kings, going to check raise. On table 1, opening cutoff with ace-5 suited. On table 1 with 7-6 suited, I'm going to 3-bet big blind versus small blind. We flop top 2 pair. I'm just always going to be betting this. On table 2, opening button with ace-8 offsuit. On table 2, opening cutoff with king-10 offsuit. On table 1, opening button with king-jack suited. With the king-10, we flopped top 2 pair. This is a board I'm going to be doing quite a bit of big betting on. Obviously, this is a good hand to be betting big. And very good turn for me. Going to be ahead basically all of the time. So go for the overbet. Pretty good river as well. I think basically my only option here. My only good option here is to shove. On table one, this is censored. I think it's close to cold 4-bet, but I don't think this is the player type to do it against. On table two, I'm going to call blind versus blind with king 2 suited. On table one, open cutoff with pocket kings. Not sure if I'm supposed to be betting this king here sometimes. I think I don't want to do a lot of betting, and maybe I'd rather choose air type hands. On table one, 4-betting with kings. I'm going to check back the king again. Again, betting more air type hands. I really don't think I can make a pair fold without betting pretty big. Now folding to the bet. With the pocket kings in a 4-bet pot, going to c-bet very small. On table two, opening cutoff with pocket eights. The ace is not a great card. I think I'm still going to be betting this hand some of the time. I can get called by something like king jack, queen jack, pocket queens, pocket tens, pocket nines with a heart. And if I get called by an ace, I have a ton of outs. On table one, 3-betting pocket tens, small blind against cutoff. I'm going to make a fairly tight fold. I'm out of position. It's a pretty big 4-bet. And I think tens underperforms even some of the lower pairs. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if I always had to call pocket sevens there, but I get to fold tens and jacks sometimes. I'm going to defend king 4 on table 1. On table 2, raising the small blinds limp with pocket jacks. I'm going to keep checking this king 4. I have a lot of weaker hands to bluff with. On the river, kind of feel like I have to go for the bet now. And I take down the pot. Table 1, opening cutoff with King 10 suited. I'm going to end the video here, guys. Thanks for watching, and see you next week for part 2.